Good morning, Eastern Oregon, and welcome to this February 16th version of AM Live on EOA, your connection to Eastern Oregon, and we're also on Roku.
I think you might have nailed that one. It's been a couple of weeks.
I took a breath in the middle. Yeah,
you didn't even practice today.
I know.
Maybe that's the key.
Yeah,
I told you practicing is not where it's at. You get too nervous.
Yeah, well,
just let it flow.
I suppose so. It's that I've spent a fair amount of time doing theater and stuff, so practicing is like the thing. Yeah. How are you this morning?
I'm good. What about you?
Yeah.
I'm good. It's first Friday. We're almost there. Not that that means anything, but
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any big plans this weekend?
Just there's some sports going on. I gotta work. That's it.
Yeah.
No big plans.
Yeah. All righty. Well,
the normal. Let's talk about sports. Yeah, let's do it. Going to be a quick one for sports today. We already talked about pretty much everything that's going on. LHS boys basketball is in Pendleton tonight. District playoff semifinal game. None of this matters really. I mean, we're going to make it to state. It's just to see who wins the district. So the winner of this game tonight in Pendleton will play Baker, I think, on Saturday for the district championship. I don't think anybody in our league is going to beat Baker, to be honest with you. And I hate to say that, but they're good.
Yeah.
On the girls' side, the girls play home against Pendleton
tonight,
and the winner plays Baker on Saturday. So, and honestly, I don't think anybody's going to beat Baker. And on the girls' side either, they're really good. They have maybe the 4A player of the year in Josie Ramos, and she's tough.
Huh?
Yeah. LHS wrestling districts are this weekend in Pendleton for the boys. So the special district 4 or whatever it is so we're looking at probably we're hoping for 18, I think, to qualify for state. 18 would give us a real good chance to repeat as state champions.
Wow.
And which we should have at least 2 state champions this year. The 2 that won it last year, and Kai Carson, Josh Collins.
So what schools are in districts in wrestling?
I don't even know all of them. They change it every year. So, I mean, I know Ontario, Baker, us, Pendleton. I think Madras, maybe, Gladstone. It's a really weird district for wrestling. It's not even the same as football and basketball. So it's a special district that's created because of the lack of 4A and 4A teams in certain areas. So they clump people together. I don't know exactly who's in it this year, but we should run away with that. Good. Should win that by probably 60 points as a team, I would imagine.
Wow.
Yeah. EOU basketball, like I said yesterday or on Tuesday, is on the road this weekend. They play Northwest University and Evergreen State, the Gooey Ducks. Could you imagine your school mascot being a phallic clam?
No.
Gosh, how do you take pride in that? Like, go Gooey Ducks. Your mascots just
it's like, who, I don't know. Yeah, you got to wonder what somebody was thinking when they made that decision.
Yeah,
like,
great decision. Great.
Yeah.
They probably, it was probably some sarcastic person that man, this is going to be great.
Funny.
100 years of phallic clam jokes. So Philip Malatar has the chance to, he will go over 1,000 points in his career this weekend on the road. So that's pretty cool. I think he'll be the second fastest Mountie ever to 1,000 points behind Max McCullough.
Wow.
I mean, to get to 1,000 points in your sophomore year, this is Phillip's senior year, but it's his sophomore year at EOU. It's his second year. In your second year, you have to average over 20 points a game. I mean, it's like 20, especially this early. I think it's like 22 or 23 points a game.
Wow.
So, yeah, he's a impact player, All-American, CCC newcomer of the year last year, and will probably be an All-American this year. I mean, he leads the CCC in a lot of categories. He leads the team in every statistical category. And you know what's crazy about Phillip? I had him on my show. He has a New York Times best-selling book written about him.
Really?
And he also has a documentary on YouTube that has over 1 million views about him.
Huh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Comes off of a reservation in Montana, and he won back-to-back state championships with his team. And they're just some little, Indian reservation. I can't even remember what it's called, but yeah, somebody wrote a book about him and did a documentary, and it was super popular when I think like 2018 or 2017.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
EOU men's wrestling is at the CCC championships in Chandler, Arizona this weekend. And we send 12 guys to that. The thing about college wrestling is a little different. You can send 12 guys in one weight if you want.
Really?
You don't have to represent weights in college. So you get to pick your 12 best guys. The 12 guys that you think have the best chance at scoring points for your school and getting to nationals.
Right.
And so we have 12 guys. I mean, we represent most of the weights, but we have 12 guys going this weekend, and we should win this. I mean, we should be back-to-back CCC champs. We're ranked number, I think, 8 or 7 in the country right now, and we have a chance to put 4 or 5 guys on the podium at nationals.
So, but if let's say you take 3 guys that are in the same weight class.
Yeah.
Okay. But they're going to wrestle against each other.
Eventually, yeah. Absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
that's how it works. So in college, here's the other thing that's a little different. In high school, the top 4 wrestlers in each weight class from each conference make it to state. In college, the CCC, so say we were talking about heavyweights.
Okay.
It's based on how many heavyweights that conference has ranked in the country. So if the CCC has 5 heavyweights ranked in the top 20 in the country,
okay,
they get 5 heavyweight spots for that.
Interesting. Oh, I see.
For the national tournament. So yeah, it's way different than high school, but it makes it kind of fun, and we're pretty deep. EOU is pretty deep, and they're looking. I mean, they're trying to make a run for a national championship, and if they don't do it this year, they're going to do it in the next couple of years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all I got for sports.
All righty.
We were gonna show. I'm gonna show you guys a video. We finally got it out. It was on New Year's Eve. I went on a ride along with Loveland Safe Ride, Jerry Hopkins, the Beeve, and here's a little excerpt. So what does this mean to you, Jerry?
Well, this means that I don't want to see no DUIs out tonight or no accidents. We're out here to make sure we save our community from drinking and driving. It's deep in my heart, and Kevin Loveland's also. It's such an amazing program. We've been doing it for 21 years, hauled over 110,000 people. The program gets stronger every year.
That's crazy too, and like Kevin talks about, the DUIs have gone down. So the funding, the original funding was from the impact fund, right?
Yes.
And so that fund, because the amount of DUIs have gone down, that fund kind of depleted.
Exactly. I mean, you look 15, 16 years ago, Union Stock Show, you'd have 10, 12 DUIs during a weekend. Yeah, I mean, it's.
I heard this year there was none.
None.
Zero.
None. And that's our goal tonight, so the cops can go home early because I'm out and 3 other guys are out.
That's so awesome.
Man, that was fun that night. Yeah, I think I had to work that night, and he picked me up at about 11, and I rode all the way till the end of the night, 2:30 with him, and we gave this one guy gets in and he goes, What are you, security? I'm like, no, I'm doing a TV show. And then one guy, the best of the whole night, I'm trying to explain to this guy, like, hey, we got a camera in here, and he was okay with it. And then I said, oh, it's for the show that I do with the sheriff. And he goes, I'm not real comfortable with being on camera. And I'm like, do I look like I'm going to tell on somebody? That's actually in the video.
I think I saw that part, yeah.
Do I look like I'm going to tell on somebody?
Well, and it's kind of cool because you interviewed, there's several drivers that drive on those events. Yeah.
Yeah. So we had one driver that was out in Union Cove, so I didn't get him.
Right.
But I got Jake Brown, Jake Brown, the other Jake Brown.
Yeah.
And then Ryan Chachis, and I rode with each one of them and interviewed both of them as well. And, we kind of talked about why they did and what kind of impact it had on them. And then the most of the time I rode with Jerry, and we had an interesting night, man. We almost hit a deer. I mean, it was like that close. He says it was 6 inches. I say it's 4. Like it was like we probably got some hair in the because we're talking. We're on our way out to Hot Lake. It got a little slick after midnight, and all of a sudden just deer. Yeah,
It's funny. I've done that before where like there was a deer standing in the middle of the road and I slammed on the brakes and just got right up to it and bumped the deer. Boom! And it was a doe. She looked at me like kind of angry and walked off.
We tried to make light of it. We were both like, well, if we would have hit it, we would have just hopped out and cut it up real quick because you can keep roadkill now in Oregon. But I mean, we were in a 2023 Wrangler limited, like $100,000 rig. Yeah, and it wouldn't have been good. Well, I mean, it's his. He works at the place,
Right.
so, you know, he's the boss there.
Yeah.
One of the bosses. So I guess they probably have insurance on them. I would imagine.
I would imagine. Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah, very cool. All of the car dealers in the area contribute to that.
Yeah, big thanks to Boss, Legacy Ford, Legacy Dodge, other guys.
Yep.
Yeah, they all donate a vehicle for that night, and it's a community effort. I mean, yeah, Loveland Safe Ride spearheads it, but you got a lot of people doing a lot of things that are really cool in that situation to get people rides home. And once again this year, 0 DUIs on New Year's Eve
Good
in
stuff.
Union County. That's pretty good.
Yeah, and that's going to be kind of our keeping it clear with Cody Bowen for January. We're going to be having another regular keeping it clear sometime soon.
Yeah, yes, very soon.
Yeah. So, all righty.
We need some weather.
We need some weather. Yep. Let me add that. There we go.
Looks cold.
Yeah, it's been chilly. Yeah. Let's hear what
The European model shows more of those mid to high level clouds for your Thursday, making those skies appear hazy at times, but dry conditions will continue. Heading into the day on Thursday for LeGrand, it looks like this will start into the upper 20s at the 8 o'clock hour with the most amount of sunshine. Expecting that sunshine to be more filtered throughout the day, but there should still be enough sun breaks to rise those highs into low 40s with those southerly breezy winds returning, gusting up to 40 miles per hour in spots. My 7-day forecast, sponsored by Valley Insurance, shows those early morning numbers mixing in the 20s and teens for your Thursday morning, with the exception for Burns into the single digits once again, with those highs generally topping out into the upper 30s to low 40s, with the exception for that warm spot Pendleton at 50, that cold spot sticking into the mid 30s in Burns. Latest update does show a weak system bringing more clouds into the picture Friday into Saturday. That could produce a slight chance for a few isolated showers, mainly during the overnight hours, but most of our viewing area will stay dry until next week. That's when more active systems roll through. Keeping a close eye on Tuesday and Wednesday when those temperatures look to drop below average once again, maybe producing some decent snowfall for our mountainous valleys, with even some light accumulations down to the lowest elevations of eastern Oregon. And that's your forecast.
All right.
87 numbers right there.
87.
Yeah. 814 of them. I don't know if I like that. Like for me, for my brain.
Yeah, all that stuff.
Sift through all that. Yeah,
oh, did you count? You were multiplying how many numbers there were there. Yeah.
Actually, I was just guessing.
Well, what I got at it is maybe snow next week.
Yeah, that's what I got too. I didn't even try to see what the temperature was.
Yeah.
I know it was below freezing last night. That's all. I only know that because my windshield was frozen.
Yep.
Yeah.
All righty. Well, Joe Brown, the owner of Hobby Habit, is with us this morning.
Yeah, this guy is also my brother-in-law, and I tried to come up with something to get him, because, and let me tell the story, and this is why he deserves getting got.
Okay.
Is when my parents still lived in Vegas, and I first moved back, I didn't have anywhere to go for Thanksgiving, so they invited me over to him and his brother's house.
Mm-hmm.
They told me that his sister didn't speak English, or his wife's sister didn't speak English. So for like the first 15 minutes, I was so awkward with her. That's messed up, ain't it? Yeah, that's why he deserves getting got.
All right. Well, he'll be back in a minute. We'll be back in a minute, and Joe can defend himself, kind of give the other side of the story. All right, thank you for coming back and joining us. This is Joe Brown, owner of Hobby Habit.
Yep.
How long have you owned Hobby Habit now?
So we just passed the 4-year mark.
Wow.
So working on
4
5
years?
Yeah.
Wow. And that's what I mean. That store was owned by Dave. What's Dave's last name?
Dave Campbell.
Dave Campbell. I mean, and he was like a staple, and that business was a staple in the community for over 20 years, right? And
Oh, like almost 30.
30.
Yeah.
I definitely hit the 30 mark.
yeah. So that's crazy. What possessed you to buy a hobby store? That, I mean, kind of talk about. You and I have. We've maybe talked 30 seconds
Mhm.
ever, you know.
This
and
is
so,
good for you.
Yeah, and so it's really good. So your story is totally new to me,
Okay.
not to Kyle. Yeah. So how did you get into this?
Okay, so I worked for Dave for almost 10 years.
Okay.
And so I was there for a while. And then me and Dave started talking about him wanting to retire. And so came into my brain of like, oh, maybe I take over. And so making that decision was not that hard because business that was there for 30 years, kind of easy decision, and all the fun stuff that you could play with. So
Yeah. So then does that, since you had worked there, then you had an interest clearly in hobby store type stuff, right?
oh yeah, a lot of fun stuff that just I spend so much time just buying myself and taking home, and so
yeah, that it sounds like a really, I mean, because Kyle and I have talked before how it's like the hobby store when I was a kid. I mean, it was like that was the coolest place that there was. You know, it was like if mom had to go downtown shopping, then it's like, and I grew up in Wyoming, and there was a nice hobby shop. But I mean, if she had to go downtown, it's like, well, hey, could we walk over to the hobby store? You know, and because that was like that was awesome.
yeah, just drop me off there. I don't want to go shopping.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me go play with all the toys.
Yeah. Yeah. And I learned I learned there like to keep my hands in my pockets too. That was the other thing, because it's such a huge temptation to,
Steal?
fiddle with stuff.
Oh, well,
yeah.
You meant like slap it in your pocket.
No, it's like, it's funny because I still do that if I get go into a studio or with a bunch of really nice equipment. It's like, okay, I'm just gonna remind myself, gonna put my hands in but anyhow, so cool. So that, and then the transition was probably pretty significant. A store that had been in existence for 30 years, and you're kind of bringing that into a new era. Was that part of it?
Just trying, so when I took over, that was beginning of 2019. And so I didn't know a lot of the backdoor stuff or the back office stuff.
Yeah.
And so that first year, just learning everything that I didn't know of what to run. And so that was a fun year, just learning a lot. And then just after that, going into 2020 with COVID, and just can't compare it to anything else. And
right,
so, just trying to get some consistency. And so definitely trying to modernize it. Kind of big thing we did was clean it up and organize a lot of stuff.
So how did you survive COVID? Was that, how did that go for you? Bought the store in 2019. Good.
Yeah, so COVID was a year, and
or two, whatever it was.
So not a lot changed for us. So we weren't forced to close down. We were a essential business, and so we were able to stay open. And so nothing changed for us through 2020. We got busier actually, and so a lot of people coming in looking for stuff to do at home because everyone else had to stay at home.
Right.
And so
yeah.
That's crazy. Just the way I think about COVID and a hobby store is an essential business. How? I mean, I know a lot of things were essential businesses, but I'm like, who sat down and decided what businesses were essential and which ones weren't?
Hey, those Legos, man.
Yeah, for mental health,
definitely.
Well, and there's some truth to that, I guess. If there was any time that people needed stuff to do at home, it was during COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What a crazy time. What a crazy time to start a business, to be 1 year in on a business too. And all of a sudden you just get hit with this hurricane COVID.
Well, especially at retail store.
Yeah.
So have you guys, what have you expanded? Kind of talk about the things that you've done.
Yeah. So a lot of people come in and are like, man, you guys totally changed a lot up. And there's a few things that we got rid of. But a lot of the same stuff we still sell. And so the big things that we did get rid of or shrunk were the model trains and scrapbooking stuff. And so not a lot of people were coming in for that. And so had to kind of shift away from that and kind of expand. We expanded the art section, got a lot more of that in the store. A lot of games, a lot of Legos, toys, STEM kits for little kids and all that. And so
so, that's really cool. Is there an area that Dave was not able to focus on that you have shifted to? Is that kind of it? The STEM kits or I don't know.
I would say the STEM kits and the little kid toys, and so we carry Melissa and Doug now, so that kind of hits a different age group than what was previously not hit, and so that's our big one is the little kid toys.
Yeah. And what does that mean? I don't know what.
Okay, so Melissa and Doug really nice quality wood toys, so for the toddlers and the 3-year-olds and all that stuff, and so
like dolls, BC, and the stuff that you put in a doll house, right? Isn't that something?
Stuff like that.
Not it's the higher end of it. The good
this is my main doll buyer.
So has and you have kids too, right?
I have a kid, yeah.
I have a kid, yeah. So has that kind of changed the mix a little bit for you? In the sense of what you have to offer?
A little bit. Getting those little kid toys, I'm like, man, a lot of people come in and ask for the birthday gifts for the little ones. And so I'm like, well, other than Walmart, who else is there? And so we got that was kind of a big decision. Yeah.
And something unique also that people can't get. So where's the nearest hobby store?
Oh, next closest one that kind of is what we do is probably Tri-Cities.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so what about the online space? Have you done anything with that? Or are you kind of, I mean, there's a lot of online competition already.
Yeah.
I mean, what is your focus?
Yeah. So online, that has definitely been like an area that we want to pursue and just we haven't done it yet. And so really just the last few years, it's like getting a solid couple employees has been awesome. And then just learning stuff that I didn't know was important. And so that's kind of focusing and still learning the basics a little bit. And so.
No, I tell you, I get that because when I started this business out of the spare room at the house, and yeah, I made mistakes.
When the stuff comes up, it's like I have to do that. Like, oh no, like I don't know how to do that. Let me go. I'll watch a few tutorials on YouTube and figure out what to do. And so yeah.
Well, no, cool that you have that resource. So, but we probably should go back and give you an opportunity to defend yourself about the story.
There's no defense there.
I agree.
Yeah, you can't defend it.
So you did that. You told him that your sister.
This is all made up. That's all.
No, it was at his brother's house.
Okay.
His brother's wife is Asian. Okay. Her sister was there. They tell me beforehand that she doesn't speak English.
Okay, got it.
And she does. So like for the first 15 minutes, it was really awkward.
Hey, I thought she only spoke English too. Only spoke.
You're so full of it, man. Damn. Wow.
Well, so you brought some stuff. To look
right.
at. Yeah, give us some samples and
Okay,
why
so,
you chose. Yeah.
All right, so this one's probably the coolest one. Just Legos. Like this one has been on the shelf for a while. And I'm like, I gotta take this one home, but we still carry Legos, and they keep making like sets that are cooler and cooler.
Wow! And how many pieces does that have?
Oh, this one is what is that? 1,600 pieces.
Holy smokes!
And that's not even the big ones.
And what is it? A Ferrari?
Yeah.
Ferrari 488, dude, that's cool.
Yeah. No, they make bigger ones than this, and I'm like,
what does something like that cost?
So that one's 170 on the shelf.
All right.
Yeah.
1,600 pieces though. That's what 8 hours of. Well, I mean, how long would it average?
Oh, I don't know
per piece.
I'm not a master builder, so
yeah, I'm not either. No, it would take me 8 hours to build that, I'm sure, and I'd probably break it about 5 times.
Well, what's funny, I mean, both my son did Legos, and then also one of my grandsons has Legos, and I mean, and he'll build something, and then eventually it all just ends up in the pool, of Legos, and then they just create stuff.
Oh yeah, total imagination stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it goes. Once you build it, you take it all apart and put it in the box of Legos.
Right. Yeah.
What else you got in there?
All right. So one of the things that actually did get popular in the last few years is the diamond art. And so that a lot of people have gotten into. And so you make these mosaic looking art pieces for your house. And so that one, I randomly grabbed that one. And so that one's a sweet elk.
What is it? Is it?
So little actual diamonds. And so there's a grid on the piece of paper or the canvas. And you got
kind of like a paint by number.
Exactly. It's like a paint by number that with the little diamonds that you put in the right area.
Okay. So, yeah, my kids used to have one, and they were like little. Yeah, I follow. It doesn't matter. So
yeah,
I follow. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. I was going to tell a story, but like, no, I'll
tell a story. But he's so old, he forgot it.
No, I'll tell this story because it's funny. Okay, so they were like little teeny colored pieces of straw. Like if you took a straw and you cut it off, and you have these little teeny pieces, and they would arrange them in grids. And then you'd melt it with an iron, and it would all melt together. Well, Kelsey, when she was, I don't know, she was 4, 3, she got one of those stuck up her nose. and we had to extract it. The funny thing was, it was a piece of straw, and it was turned the right way, so she could breathe.
Just fine. It was just stuck.
She could breathe through. It was like, how did you get that up there? I don't know. I had to get a pair of needle nose pliers or something and extract it. Anyhow.
That's funny. What else you got in there?
My favorite section is the board games, and so this is
Yeah.
Wingspan. This is probably our best selling game in the last few years, and so it's a lot of fun. And this is the newest 2-player standalone expansion. So that one, this is my favorite.
What? Okay,
Sure.
give it a little synopsis of Wingspan.
All right, so there's a stack of cards. There are just all these different types of birds in the world, and each card does something different. And so you're trying to put them in your area, and then they trigger like a special ability. And so the mechanics of the game are really, really solid and just beautiful game to play, and just a lot of easy. It's the #1 family board game on Board Game Geek, which is a pretty popular website with everyone that's into board games. And so this is my favorite one, Wingspan.
Nice.
Yeah.
What was the name of that game you got my kids for Christmas?
Oh, Cash and Guns.
Yeah, that was pretty fun.
Yeah, like
That was very fun.
it's like Reservoir Dogs, and so yeah, always have a good time with that
we
one.
had fun. What else you got?
And then so last thing I brought were it was our RC cars, and so these are the newest from Traxxas. And one of the big things that we've done since I've been over is Dave used to carry multiple lines of different RC cars, and so to kind of help me figure everything out, we kind of went with one RC car distributor, and that's Traxxas. And so they're really awesome to work with. They're one of the only few, or the only distributor that has sent somebody from their company to come see me in the store. And so these are the new TRX4 minis, and so these are rock crawlers, and so these have been really popular since they've come out. So,
What are those? What price? Give me like a price.
all right, everything you need for this comes in the box at $150.
Oh yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah, so $150 gets you this, but then everything on here can be customized. And so you can upgrade everything. You can make it really, if you're really into competitive crawling, just the hundreds of dollars that you can throw into these.
And they're 4-wheel drive.
Yeah, so these are 4-wheel. So these are rock crawlers. These aren't fast cars. They're meant to crawl the.
Yeah,
crawl
they have
rocks and all that
suspension
stuff.
already built into
Wow.
them.
Mm-hmm.
What? And then you have all the way up to like what?
Yeah, so these are the small end. These are the newest ones, but I got ones that are as big as Dodzy, and so
Oh, and it's all the same brand.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, cool.
all Texas.
Yeah.
Some of them will go like 70 miles an hour too. BC.
Wow.
Yeah, an RC car.
Yeah, the batteries are just amazing.
So the RC side of it is, I mean, that's always been fun for me, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And do you guys, are you into the RC planes too? Or I don't know. I mean, I know that was a big thing for Dave.
So that was a big thing for Dave,
Yeah.
and not really my thing. I did learn how to fly,
Yeah.
and it wasn't my thing. We still carry all the stuff.
Yeah.
Well, not the extent of everything. We still have like the stuff to learn
Yeah.
and go out and fly. But like we can still get everything that Dave used to carry.
Yeah.
So yeah.
They used to have a simulator in there.
Yeah. So
RC plane simulator in the hobby shop.
yeah, that's what I learned on, and so that was me a lot of money from crashing the plane.
when I was a kid, Hobby Habit, it was all about the slot cars. Everybody, I mean, he had a slot car track in there. So, and their slot cars are coming back. He's got slot cars in Hobby Habit right now. They're making a comeback right now.
Yeah, so that was the slot car track everyone asks about all the time. They're like, I haven't been here in years. Last time they had the slot car, I'm like, well, that was over 15 years ago. Like,
Yeah, it's been a
and
while.
so I remember going in when I was like just a little kid, just remembering the slot car track. And so that's a big thing. I keep looking for like a big one to put back in that corner. And so
It's it's hard for, slot cars kind of went away, I think, because RC cars became so available. It's like, why would it go around on a track when you can drive it anywhere, But there's a real appeal, a legacy appeal for that, and you can customize. It's a very specific thing, so you can customize that car, and competitive too,
yeah, I see other stores that just do slot cars, and like it's just like this huge warehouse of this giant track. And so just like you said, just how far the RC has come
Yeah.
in the last few years alone has been like just.
It's
But
crazy.
they're like real cars.
Well, you know what would be
I mean,
cool?
this looks like a real vehicle.
It does. Yeah.
I mean, it really does.
When I fix them and like work on them, like
That looks like the new Bronco.
Here, hand me one of those.
it is.
This
Yeah, you
looks
could,
like
you could just leave this if
Land
you
Rover.
want. You don't have to go out.
And so the Traxxas must have deals with all these companies, right? With Land Rover, with I mean, because they wouldn't be able to use their.
Yeah, so all these this is out of the box, and
Yeah,
so
that's cool.
yeah, it's they.
Because that looks like a new Bronco. I mean, it really does.
Oh yeah, and so yeah, when I took over, like just the RC part of it, like got me. I'm like, oh.
Let's see what
the
they
section
have
was that
there
big.
that I like. They got kendamas. What else? Rubik's
Yo-yos.
Yo-yos.
Puzzles have been huge the last few years.
Have you? Yeah, I was going to say. So, have you seen anything kind of change or morph? You know, legacy stuff that might have been. I don't know. Kind of what are the trends that you're seeing or anticipating?
So one of the things I remember was drones. Just the last few years,
Yeah.
like drones were like everyone wanted one, and so unfortunately through COVID that kind of killed our distributor that carried all that, and they quit carrying all that stuff, and so drones kind of went away. We still have helicopters and airplanes. The model railroads kind of those kind of died.
Fall off.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, not as popular as it
I
was
think
because there was that was the hobby back in the day.
Yeah, that's like old, like people in their 70s and 80s. Like, yeah, which I mean, obviously, that it didn't hang on for some reason. I don't know why. Which it's kind of like, but then any collectible type thing like that, because that's collectible, right? That's not just a hobby. That's a collectible. You're collecting these things. It's like baseball cards. It has these peaks and valleys, right? So I mean, maybe it comes back.
Yeah,
You
maybe.
never know.
Yeah. Just takes another generation to get into it.
Absolutely.
Well, I've been trying to get into the point of view drones. I mean, I've got commercial drones that I use for flying in our jobs and stuff, but the POV drones are very cool, and they're similar to building up. And now DJI has made you can go buy the kit, buy it so that it does what it's supposed to. But there's a certain market where people are building it, and they're built. I mean, very much like this, where they're adding on and they're changing motors and changing propellers and kind of growing it as they go.
Yeah, the first time I saw those first-person view racing of the drones, I was like, "Oh, this is the coolest thing."
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we don't have any distributors that carry any of that. And so, yeah, but it's like, if we got it, I would spend too much time on that stuff.
They have a show. They have a show on TV where they race.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
See,
crazy.
I know, and the racing isn't. I mean, I'm not.
No,
I mean,
you want to shoot video off
right?
of it,
But
like,
I mean, it's the. I mean, you and I were talking. They have a new drone thing of, and it's called Cinedrone of Wrigley Field.
Yeah.
I mean, and that is just crazy. If you've not ever, I mean, just look that up on YouTube.
I think it started, like the first video I ever saw was the restaurant.
Yeah, right.
Goes through I mean, dude, it's
well, and
insane.
I'd love to get good enough and do that at Brickyard Lanes, because that would just be an awesome way of showing up a really big area like that, So, but it's a very interesting envelope, because the drone can't be heavy enough. I mean, it has to be light enough that you can fly it over people's heads, or if it hit them, it's not going to injure them, And yeah, because if you watch that Wrigley Field one, I mean, they're right over the top. Maybe they're going between people as they're having a beer, and they're, I mean, it's crazy. Anyhow,
good.
Really enjoy that. Well,
cool.
Yeah.
What's your hours?
Okay, so hours didn't change at all. So we're still open 7 days a week, Monday through Saturday, 10 to 5:30, and Sunday noon to 4.
Every day.
Open every day.
Every single day.
Yeah, just for the fun of it.
Just for the fun of it.
Yeah, that's and then I'll give a little backstory too. Like, so I do the sports show, and Hobby Habit sponsors the sports show, and I just want to say thank you for that. I mean, that helps me out, helps out EOA Live, and we're here for you if you ever need anything.
Yeah, it helps us out that people still know that we're there. And
Yeah.
So,
So, do you have
411
any?
First Street.
Do you have any Kyle stories though?
I have too many. I don't.
He doesn't want to get beat up after this. He's got a
Yeah.
long day ahead.
This is the opportunity. Yeah, yeah. It's an interesting relationship between brother-in-laws, right?
We do fine.
I know.
We do good. We do good.
Sure.
As long as we both have mutual respect for my sister, that's all that matters. And,
Yeah.
and the kid. Yeah, we can make fun of each other all day. You know, we all know that we got each other's backs. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, good stuff. Well, do you want to get us out of here, Kyle?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Is this the right date, BC? No, that's not the right date. There's toys all over my desk, man. This is the right date. Let's rock and roll. On this day, February 16th. Oh, wait, let me address TJ real fast. Good morning, TJ. Does EOU wrestle against any NCAA school, or is it just NAIA? Nick Moss says, not sure they might in a tournament. I know the football and basketball teams do. You are correct, Nick. However, it's very rare that EOU wrestles against NCAA opponents. 1659 on this day, February 16th. First known check for 400 euros was written, and it's now on display in Westminster Abbey. 1659, somebody wrote a check. Yeah.
Yeah.
16,
Hopefully it wasn't a
400
very.
euros. What were they buying?
Yeah.
400 euros must have been a ton of money back then.
Hopefully it wasn't a very big one.
No,
You know, I mean, it's
it
like-
probably was. I mean, it was probably bigger than.
No, I mean as
It was
far
400
as
euros.
in value. Oh, wow. Okay.
It was 400 euros was a ton in 1659.
Yeah, can you imagine? Yeah, I'm gonna write you a check.
Yeah,
First one, what's a
I'll
check?
get you back. 1923, on this day, Howard Carter opens the inner burial chamber of Egyptian pharaoh Tutankhamun's tomb and finds the sarcophagus. So that's 100 years ago today.
Wow.
100 years ago, they found the sarcophagus. That's crazy. 1937, on this day, DuPont patents nylon, which was developed by an employee, actually. Nylon was patented on this day. 1937. 1946, the first commercially designed helicopter was tested in Bridgeport, Connecticut.
36?
1946.
46.
1948, the first newsreel telecast. 20th Century Fox movie tone news was shown on NBC. And then because nothing really happened after 1968, this is the last one. 1968, on this day, the U.S.'s first 9/11 system went into effect in Haleyville, Alabama. Was the very first 911 system in the United States of America.
In what year again?
1968.
Wow. Okay.
Which is crazy. It's crazy. It's some podunk town in Alabama. Like, I would have never guessed that. Would you have? I would have thought it would have been like a bigger city. But okay, so let's go to the number one song in America
Okay.
on this day in 1983.
All right.
Come on, Every Breath You Take.
And who's that group?
The Police, ain't it?
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I didn't write it down for some reason.
No, that sounds right.
Yeah, it is. It's Every Breath You Take by the Police. Yes. And then the quote for the day. A mind is like a parachute. It doesn't open. It doesn't work if it doesn't open. A mind is like a parachute. It doesn't work if it isn't open. Frank Zappa. That's it.
All right.
Thank you, Joe.
Yeah.
Appreciate you. Hobby Habit, 411 First Street in LeGrand, just for the fun of it.
Fun place to just go and hang out. Yeah.
See you Tuesday.
All right. Thanks a bunch.